So let's go next to Krista Moreland. She is a professor of anthropology. As Sonia mentioned earlier, she is also the faculty co-chair for our enrollment management committee. So with that, let's go to Krista.
Thank you, Todd. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My presentation is a little bit different than others. It's more broad-based because when we talk about enrollment management, it kind of encompasses everything we do on the campus. It's the process of examining everything we do. But I think it's going to pair well with Kylie's detailed discussion of early college and Leo and Grace's detailed discussions of other great things we're doing on campus. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The Enrollment Management Committee supports BC enrollment management through monitoring enrollment trends, working with campus constituents to meet their goals, and providing information to the college at large. So we are a very broad-based committee that assists the campus wherever we can. When we're looking at strategic enrollment management, oh, next slide, please. Sorry, Earl. Sorry. When we're looking at strategic enrollment management, this is a broad framework that includes three main divisions: strategies and practices, our approach, and our foundation. So these three dimensions are spread throughout our campus in various ways, and a strategic enrollment management plan is about how we bring these together. So next slide, please. I'm not going to read through all of these, but I will let you look at them to kind of get the idea of what is encompassed in strategies and practices, in our approach, and in our foundation. But in a broad sense, a strategic enrollment framework takes a holistic view of scheduling, outreach, data, goals, financing, staffing, leadership, and more to see how all of these moving parts connect and how these moving parts move our students through BC from intake to completion. This is a very adaptive approach, and it allows a bird's eye view that helps us identify potential bottlenecks that may slow down student progression and to identify potential areas of inequity. BC's enrollment efforts are focused on keeping students on their educational paths by adopting the strategic enrollment management framework. This enrollment management effort centers on BC's high-touch approach, which breaks down our student population into manageable units that allow for targeted messaging, such as students who are close to graduation or students who have not registered yet. This strategy gives us flexibility, the flexibility to adjust within specific areas as needed, and allows us to better connect with students personally as we guide them through their educational process. And it also allows us to respond quickly to any issues that arise. This approach spans the entire educational life cycle of students, from their very first time registering for courses to their graduation or their transfer. This long-term approach for student enrollment includes many different things we're doing on campus. Oh, thank you. Earl was reading my mind there on the next slide. This long-term approach for student enrollments includes many things all over campus, including the recruitment of new students through the outreach department who assist high school students with registering in BC. And I suppose I should add early college in here as well. They belong in here as well with all the hard work they're doing. This also includes reaching out to continuing students to assist them with registering for courses. Pathways teams, outreach department, and so many campus volunteers all take time to call, to text, to email students and reach out to them and give them those little nudges to keep them on the path. We also spend a lot of time reminding students and referring students to online student services, such as the Writing Center and Tutoring Center. Our counselors regularly attend department meetings and pathways meetings, and this helps with information sharing to make sure everybody else knows what's happening. Chairs and deans regularly monitor enrollment trends and add new classes as needed with its real-time data and analysis. And faculty share information with students about completing update forms for registration, or they remind their students or ask their students to meet with counselors. The components of BC's approach to enrollment management all work together to meet the student's need. Having these smaller interconnected units allow us to address very specific issues, to target specific student populations, and to quickly adopt solutions where needed. This system also allows for information sharing between campus constituents, and this strengthens our ability to solve problems because we're aware of what else is happening around campus. After years of enrollment growth, BC is experiencing a little bit of a decline in completion and enrollment due to COVID-19. While we understand the need for students to step back from college during the pandemic, we also understand that when low-income students take educational breaks, many will not return. Life simply gets in the way. We want more than anything our continuing students to be enrolled in spring to ensure they meet their educational targets on time. We want to keep them in college. In response to COVID-19, BC has adjusted our practices, our approaches, and our foundation to ensure students are better able to stay on their educational path. This includes adopting the Student Information Desk, which we're going to learn more about later with Grace. And the Student Information Desk is a one-stop shop for students to register and get their courses answered. We have increased our phoning campaigns and our calling campaigns, targeting students who dropped courses in the fall semester to ensure they're on track and they're on target. We have increased our faculty reminders to students about completing update forms and have asked faculty to allow counselors to speak to students via their Zoom sessions, and this has been immensely successful. We've been having online services, just like tutoring and writing center, online and available to students. We've had our amazing Chrome Top Loaner program, and most recently, we've added Wi-Fi in the southwest parking lot of campus so students can get online and complete their coursework. BC will continue to be flexible and adjust to ensure our students get through these challenging and unprecedented times. The Enrollment Management Committee will regularly monitor enrollment as we approach the spring semester, and we will work with departments, with chairs, with deans as needed to solve enrollment issues. Our committee will support campus efforts to keep students on their educational paths and mobilize the campus through discussions, data sharing, and various strategies. For spring 2021 and into the future, we want our current students enrolled and continuing on their educational path. Even if they only take one class, we need to keep students engaged in the college. We would hope to have a growth of about 5% for spring, but we recognize these are difficult times, but we still have to shoot for the stars. You know the old saying, it takes a village to have increased student progression and completion rates. So during this pandemic, it will take all of us working together to keep BC students on track and meeting their educational goals. And I'm going to leave you with a quote from one of my students, Jesus Bustos, who posted this in one of our discussion boards just the other day, and I really like this. Jesus says, "Time brings with it inevitable change, be it cultural or anything else." So BC's framework is one of flexibility and adaptability, so we can adjust a small scale here and there wherever we need to help our students stay on target and meet their goals. Thank you very much for your time. And I'll turn it back to Todd.
Thank you, Krista. I think your student was right that change is definitely inevitable.